Hey everybody, Dr. Eric Santonis here, and today I was actually going to be doing a bit of a different video, but I got a comment on my last video and somebody had requested if I can do a video on vaccines. What this video is going to be about is about scope of practice and the importance of working in a team. What is scope of practice? Scope of practice is essentially what I'm allowed to do as a chiropractor. Now, I have a license here in Ontario, Canada, to practice chiropractic, and within my license, I'm allowed to do certain things. Anything to do with vaccination is not one of them. That's normal because it wasn't part of my training. It's not what I was trained to do. It's not what a chiropractor does. There are other people who are much better suited to talk about vaccinations, such as medical doctors. Any and all questions should be aimed at them or whoever else it's within their scope of practice. With regards to scope of practice and the importance of working with the team, the idea here is that we all specialize in certain things. Even within my scope of practice, I can do manual therapy, I can talk about strength and conditioning, I can talk about nutrition, things like that. However, it might not be the focus of the person that you're actually working with. So for example, I have some extra education in sports nutrition. I even have a certificate, right here. So I got a level 1 from Precision Nutrition. That's one example. Even during my residency, we had extra sports nutrition classes. Does that mean I know everything about nutrition? No, I don't. Do I know more than your average bear? I think so. Do I know more than a sports dietitian? No, I don't. So if somebody's coming to me and they have really dense sports nutrition questions that I might not feel comfortable with, I'll refer them to my friend who's a sports dietitian. If it's just some general guideline, general things, I might be able to do okay with those. But the point being is that even within my own profession, I tend to specialize in a couple of things. So for instance, I like to specialize in a lot of athletes. I even have my specialty in sports. This right here, this took a long time to get. This was really hard to get. So we've all heard the saying, jack of all trades, a master of none. Well, that's kind of true. Again, most businesses run this way, right? The same reason why Starbucks has a certain target population versus Tim Hortons, which is a different population, versus Second Cup. They each have different things that they're associated with. Certain things UPS versus DHL. DHL is more for international shipping, where UPS is not as known for that, for instance. So we all have to specialize in certain things. So that's important for me anyways, for a healthcare professional, to work with other health professionals in other disciplines so that they can complement me in the areas where I am not as knowledgeable. Here are a few slides from a presentation I did last summer on the integrated approach to treatment of the athlete. And it kind of helps to illustrate the point that I'm trying to do. So if we look here, in the middle we have our athlete or our patient or whoever it may be that we're working on. Now we can see that there are different people that work directly with the athlete. So you have your sports chiropractor, your sports dietitian, biomechanist, the psychologist, coach. All these people help to work with the athlete to make sure that they function the way that they should. Now, one other important part, in order for this to be as ideal as it can be, all these other practitioners, these other people, need to be communicating with each other. So that's the only way that we can that everybody can be on the same page, so that the athlete gets a benefit from everybody from this. So yes, we call this the integrated support team for the person or for the athlete. So the goal for an IST is to ensure that the athlete is healthy, fit, and psychologically ready for optimal performance. Now, again, this is for an athlete. If it's for a regular person, this still applies. They want to make sure that the patient is healthy, fit, psychologically ready for whatever they want to be doing, whatever the goal of the treatment is, for instance. So here's a bit of an example. Now let's just say you have your average chiropractor, and again, all these numbers and things like that are completely made up. It's just to illustrate a point. So you're at your chiropractor, he scores a 10 out of 10 in manual therapy, you know, because that's where he's really good at. But, you know, nutrition, strength and conditioning, not as good, and the other domains too, really kind of, you know, at a little bit of a loss. Now, if we have our psychologist, well, they're going to score 10 out of 10 in psychology and not as high in the other domains. Now you have your strength and conditioning coach, 10 out of 10 strength conditioning, knows a good amount of physiology, decent amount of psychology, but not so much without the rest. Then we have our dietitian, obviously really good in nutrition and maybe not as much as in the other things. Then you have your physiologist, which is 10 out of 10 in physiology, of course. So with this now, this is what we call a well-rounded IST, because everybody kind of makes up for everybody else's shortcomings, essentially. And I shouldn't say shortcomings because everybody specializes in a certain thing, right? The manual therapist, the chiropractor specializes in manual therapy. That's where they shine. You know, that's who you should go see if you want some manual therapy. In nutrition, in dietitian, that's who you should go see for anything nutrition based. Even though your chiropractor might have a good amount of knowledge in nutrition, are they the ideal person for everything nutrition related? Maybe not. So this is just an example of where you want to make sure that no one person is wearing too many hats, because when you wear too many hats, you just are not doing the best job for that patient or for that athlete. You really want to make sure that you wear a really good hat, one hat. So you want to make sure that you wear your hat well and you're not taking the role of somebody else who can do a better job than you can. If you're out there and you're being treated by one single healthcare practitioner right now, trying to make sure that they're not wearing too many hats. So don't be afraid if you're seeing your doctor and you have more really specific nutrition questions, don't be afraid to go seek out a dietitian. Or if you really need, you know, a good exercise or good program, go see a good coach or a strength conditioning coach. It's okay. It's a good thing to go see different people, and if they're doing their jobs well, they're all communicating with each other so they can have a targeted plan for you in order to service you better. So if you like this video, please give it a like. I would really appreciate it. Please share with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel. It really helps a lot, and we will see you next time. Come on. There we go.